your Arches National Park trip and you're a little overwhelmed by the reservation system, don't worry, we're going to go over what you need to know in this video. Hi there, my name is Alex from Alex on the Map, and I have been to over 30 of our national parks. I also help clients put together their perfect custom national park itinerary, and a lot of what we talk about is reservation systems. Arches was one of the first national parks to put together a reservation system just because there have been a ton of crowds visiting this very popular national park. Overall, I find Arches reservation system a lot easier to understand than many of the other reservation systems, but that still doesn't mean that it's a little bit confusing, especially if you've never had to deal with something like this before. There also has been a slight change in 2025 than there has been in previous years, so we'll get into that as well. Quick tip though before we get started, if you can't find reservations for your chosen days, don't be afraid to check back often on recreation.gov. Oftentimes, many people will forfeit their reservations and you can snag them for your trip. All right, I'm gonna go into a quick overview of the reservation system and what you need to know. The reservation system for Arches in 2025 runs from April 1st to October 31st. In order to enter the park between the hours of 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., you will need a reservation in hand. These reservations are based on a timed entry, so you will choose a certain time in order to enter. If you happen to miss this time, you will not be allowed to enter the park, so you want to be timely for these things. One change that they have had from previous years is that there is a period during the summer where you are allowed to enter without a reservation. From July 7th to August 26th of 2025, no reservation is required because this is when the crowds kind of don't like to come because it's very hot during the summer. All right, now I'm going to talk a little bit about why Arches has needed a reservation system over the past few years. With so many visitors coming to Arches, it is an extremely popular national park. It has kind of whittled away at some of the natural resources the park has. It's also very overwhelming for park staff to have so many people coming in and out. And a reservation system is supposed to manage these crowds a little bit better so people enjoy their experience a lot more. Personally, I find it really helpful to have these reservation systems in place, especially in a spot like Arches where parking is so limited. Even with the reservation system, Daniel and I found it very hard to find parking at some of the most popular destinations. It would be really difficult to enjoy this park, I feel like, without a reservation system in place. All right, let's chat a little bit about how to get those reservations. First and foremost, you're going to want to make an account on recreation.gov and you're going to want to be logged in. This just makes the whole process of checking out so much faster than having to remember your password and redoing it if you forget it. I highly recommend that you make your reservations in advance if you can, but do know that there are a limited number of tickets available the night before if you need to. Tickets go on sale 3 months in advance, and I'm going to read out that schedule for you just so you're totally aware of when you should be getting your tickets. Also keep in mind that you're going to want to get all of these at 8 o'clock a.m. Mountain Time. So setting your alarm is always a good idea when it comes to reservations. From April 1st to 30th, your reservations are going to be purchased at January 2nd, May 1st through 31st, February 1st, June 1st through 30th, March 1st, July 1st through 30th, July 1st through 31st, April 1st, August 1st through 31, May 1st, September 1st through 30th, June 1st, October 1st through 31st in July. I highly recommend you check out my blog post on this topic because then you can see it written out and it makes it a lot easier to plan. As a reminder, there are a limited number of tickets available the night before at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. I definitely recommend you make sure you're on there right at that time because it just makes the purchasing aspect so much easier and tickets sell out so fast. Are you struggling on planning your national park trip? Let's face it, between accommodations, figuring out the reservation system, and a lot more, it's just overwhelming planning your national park trip sometimes. This can cost you a lot of time and money just figuring out your itinerary. If you're you're looking for some help planning your trip, I offer a custom national park itinerary service that walks you through day by day what you need to know before you go. This itinerary will save you a lot of time and money and allows you to get to the park and actually enjoy your trip instead of worrying about all the details. I plan hundreds of national park trips for clients, which has helped them enjoy their whole experience a lot more. So what does one of these custom itineraries include? You can expect reservation information if needed, suggestions on where to stay, what to eat, and what to do, and tips and recommendations for your specific park. You'll love the itinerary I plan for you, or you get your money back. Here's some testimonials from some of my clients. Alex was very responsive to my request for assistance in planning our upcoming trip to Glacier National Park. We were unfamiliar with the park, and it was helpful to get specific recommendations of where to stay, eat, and what to do while we're out there to make the most of our vacation from Barbara. Alex was more than prompt in responding to my request for an itinerary. Her selections fit perfectly with the criteria I requested. She's been great about following up and making sure that our needs are met. From Samantha. If you're interested in this, I offer a 15-minute consultation call for free where you can tell me about your concerns for your national park trip, and I can give you more information on how I can help you. You can find that out in the description below and book your call there. Alright, here's a common FAQs I get about the ARCHES National Park reservation system. What dates are time entry required? Time entry dates are required from April 1st to October 31st of this year. Again, the times that you will need them are from 7 a.m. in the morning to 4 p.m. in the evening. However, there is that funky little window this year from July 7th to August 26th where reservations are not required. But it is very hot. What if I plan to visit before April 1st or after October 31st? Then you will not need a reservation. You are free to come and go as you please. Are reservations based on a per car basis? Yes, this ticket is for each car, not each person. When should I make my reservation for the time entry system? As mentioned before, you're going to want to make them 3 months in advance from the month you are planning on visiting. Again, this is why it's super important to know your dates in advance, because otherwise you're stuck using that night before system and it might not go well for you. Again, I recommend you check out that blog post I mentioned because that will give you a schedule of when you need to get your tickets in advance. How much does it cost for a reservation for ARCHES National Park? Like this and all other reservation systems for the national parks, it costs $2. Do I have to pay an entrance fee on top of my reservation? Yes, you will need to purchase a parks pass for the time that you are going to be there, an annual pass for ARCHES, or an America the Beautiful annual pass, which gives you access to all the national parks in the system. I always say if you're planning on visiting 3 or more national parks, this is definitely worth the expense because you actually end up saving money by purchasing this pass other than purchasing 3 different ones at 3 different parks. Can I enter ARCHES National Park outside the time entry reservation? Yes, as mentioned before, if you plan on entering before 7 a.m. or after 4 p.m., no reservation is required. Is there any way to get around the time entry reservation? As mentioned before, if you plan on entering before or after that designated time, then you should be good to go. However, if you have booked a campground or a tour within the park, that can also serve as a reservation ticket for the day. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Do you need a reservation if you have a special use or camping permit? A special use permit is anything that is related to commercial photography, weddings, something, well, special. Likewise, if you have a ticket for the Fiery Furnace tour or you have a campsite booked, you do not need a reservation. I highly recommend you print that confirmation out and you can show it to a park ranger when you enter in at the visitor center. How long can I stay in the park on timed entry? Once you have entered the park, you can stay for as long as you like. There's no need for you to exit at any time. You can just stay and enjoy and exit at your leisure. Do tribal members require reservations? Nope, they do not. Are reservations required for Canyonlands National Park and Dead Horse Point State Park? Nope. None of these parks require reservations as of now. I hope this has helped you navigate ARCHES National Park's reservation system. If you have any questions at all, feel free to let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to respond. And before you go, if you want to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification, you'll get more videos on national parks and I'll help you plan the perfect adventure of a lifetime.